Amongst the cast of Skins, there are many memorable characters that stay with you, each with their own personalities and often playing into familiar archetypes that we've seen on screen. But something about Cook feels different relative to the other characters in the cast. Whether it's the performance of Jack O'Connell himself or the classic cinematic rebels shaping his character, whatever it is, there's a reason he was a fan favourite and ended up being the one to carry the finale of the entire series. His cultural references feel much more refined, owing to older cultural tropes of what you'd call the bad boy.
What's eating you? What are you rebelling against?
What have you got?
There you go, you see, you're too fucking smart for most people. They don't even know you're quoting Marlon Brando, do they?
These are tropes audiences still have an appetite for, and this performance ultimately primed him for many of his following roles too. Cook arrives onto the screen as a very abrasive character, makes a lot of enemies quite quickly, and then gradually turns into the heartbeat of the show with some very vulnerable moments. But by the time we reach Skin's rise, he's not just another bland TV bad boy. He's a man defined by consequence, and that makes him one of the most quietly profound arcs in teen television. In this video, I want to look at Skin's rise and how Cook's character changes compared to his earlier presence on the show, and why he's such a memorable character. When we're reintroduced to Cook, he's living in his car and selling drugs. From the start, his voiceover holds a lot of weight, as the audience has already spent so much time with the character from previous seasons. So, although this is a fresh introduction, the audience already feels quite close. When he speaks now, it carries years of subtext. We're left to imagine the way Cook has been living up until this point. In the early series, Cook's character was distinguished from the others as more reckless and volatile. But as he grows up, he's not acting tough out of sheer recklessness. He's actually being forced to by the conditions he's created for himself. We get the sense that he's leading a criminal lifestyle out of necessity, as opposed to other flashy characters who relish the risk. So from the start, we feel a distinct change in tone from a character we're already very familiar with. For Cook's original styling, Jack O'Connell was heavily inspired by the 80s football terraces, with brands like Fred Perry and Doc Martens becoming staples of his look. In Rise, you can see how his youthful nature has been restrained in the styling. Cook's original 80s inspired look is layered and covered with a traditional Manchester parka palette. This styling exhibits the practical realities of living in his car, the layered minimal wardrobe and restrictions of living rough. His loafers have been swapped for boots, and his shaggy mod haircut needs less maintenance than his original crew cut. The ambient score from Segal feels more mature and atmospheric compared to the earlier series soundtracks, where a typical selection of different songs would usually be how Skins is structured. A single instrumental score keeps the tone feeling consistent, even when split across 2 episodes. The music is steady, melancholic, and introspective, mirroring Cook's state of mind and pairing nicely with his monologues. Segal's score is highly adaptable too, setting the scene from street to club to rural settings. The only external song to appear is from Roots Manuva, a welcome full circle moment as Witness the Fitness concluded the very first episode of the series. Part of Cook's identity throughout the whole series has been his volatility, combined with a lust for life, not wanting to waste a single moment.
It all means so much to you, doesn't it?
What?
Life. You just live a bit harder than everybody else does. You splash about. You wallow in it. Like you can't lose a moment.
I think it's nice when you splash about. Other people get wet.
These reckless impulses have been subdued in order to survive. In Rise, we see Cook's internal conflict with these survival instincts as he attempts to navigate challenges as best he can, trying to live authentically without self-destructing.
What happened to you?
You think because I don't want to come swimming with you that I've got something to hide?
I'm thinking that once you would have jumped in without a second thought. Right?
The entire series of Skins has been about this process of growing up. The series captures that time in adolescence where you aren't quite an adult, but you aren't a child either. What happens when you are confronted with adult challenges, but you aren't quite really an adult yet? The process of figuring out your own values and how you want to live your life. And realising that a lot of the adults around you haven't really got everything figured out either. Cook's character stands out because his challenges hold higher stakes. His storyline feels pulled from the crime genre more than a teen drama series. We get to see him experience higher highs and lower lows owing to his innate desire to live life on the edge and not waste a single moment. Rise sharpens this arc further. He navigates brutal challenges while staying true to himself. His refusal to kill Louis is a pivotal moment, showing that he has kept his own morality intact. True to his nature, he's able to face conflict head on and still holds on to his values. Instead of letting life break him, he's ultimately grateful for the experience to grow. By the end of the series, we're left with a feeling of hope and a sense that Cook has grown into himself and matured in a crucial way. And that's why he's such a memorable character.